A look at some of our top stories this morning. A deadly hit and run in Compton. Deputies say a man was hit and killed just after 9:30 last night at the intersection of North Alameda and East Dixon Street. The driver did not stop. Deputies are working on a description of the car and the driver.
And newly unsealed court documents reveal singer David Burke is connected to a teen whose body was found in the trunk of his Tesla last year. The documents list him as a, quote, target in the murder of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. His family faces subpoenas and potential arrests for non-compliance. But charges have not been filed in this investigation.
Today, at the White House, Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos is scheduled to attend several meetings there to give an update on the Warner Brothers Discovery merger. Netflix is one of the two groups trying to acquire Warner Brothers Discovery. Paramount Skydance is the other. It's unclear if Sarandos will meet with President Trump.
All right, it's 8:13 on this Thursday. It's warming up significantly.
I know.
Out there.
Great news
it feels
in the
good.
Weather Department.
Already, right? Yeah, no complaints. I mean, it is still February after all. It's supposed to be winter, but it feels more like summer outside, and it's all partly due to the offshore flow. You can see how the wind, you can see the arrows coming from that northeasterly direction towards the southwest. If this was a stronger wind event, then we'd say, oh, these Santa Ana winds are here with us. But it's the offshore flow really helping to warm up the atmosphere, and that's going to help bring our temperatures well up to above average again. In fact, even hotter as we get into tomorrow. This ridge of high pressure is just anchored across the southwest, and it's keeping the storm track well to our north here. As we fast forward in time to next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, there might be an opportunity for some light spotty drizzles, but that high is just going to stay put, so it's going to continue to produce above average highs. In fact, tomorrow could be record-breaking high temperatures as we get into 80s and even 90s in some of our valley locations. As we head into next weekend, this high may break down enough to where we can get a storm close enough to maybe we will get some widespread light showers. I'll keep you posted. It's a long ways away. The important thing is this weekend actually looks really good with plenty of those warm temperatures continuing. 81 is what we're expecting for downtown. As we get to Anaheim and Orange County, looking at low 80s as we get to 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. there. A mixture of some clouds, mostly high clouds with plenty of sunshine. I think the sunset this afternoon, it's going to be gorgeous again like yesterday. Riverside around 86 degrees at 3 p.m. today. Elysian Park, we've got some clouds, high clouds, and then getting to around 81, 82 later this afternoon before it cools down to 73 at 7 p.m. And then Big Bear up into the mountains. We had all that snow, so there's a really good snowpack. So if you are planning to go ski or maybe go do some snowboarding, we're talking about upper 60s, so you really won't need that heavy jacket if you're going down to do some fun in the snow. I'll show you the 7-day forecast in just a few minutes. In the meantime, stay with us. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Welcome back. From jail deaths to student protests, certainly been a busy few weeks for the LA County Sheriff's Department.
Yeah, it certainly has. We just saw you, Sheriff. Sheriff Robert Luna, back in our studio to talk about this and more. Thanks for coming back into the studio.
Good morning to both of you, and thank you for having me.
Tomorrow, there's going to be at least a planned statewide student walkout and a protest. And we've been seeing these happening throughout the past several weeks with immigration enforcement, with ICE, the controversial ICE situation. We've had Chief McDonald in here from the LAPD, who issued told students that there's a curfew to try to prevent students from going out and engaging a lot with officers, because sometimes this situation turns heated. Have you been working with local school districts within LA County, and what is your message to students? Where do you stand on this?
Yeah, we have an amazing relationship with all the schools in LA County within our area of responsibility. That partnership, collaboration is very important. But in regards to student walkouts, it's not much different than a lot of the protests that we're dealing with. There's a lot of social issues. This issue regarding immigration, I'm very sensitive to the fear, the anxiety, the anger that's out there. So all I implore anybody who's out there exercising their First Amendment rights is just to be safe, be careful, respect other people while you're out there, and whatever you do, don't start sending the message or keep your message safe, meaning no violence, no destruction of property, because that starts sending a different message, and we just want everyone to be safe and get their message out. But we will do whatever we can to facilitate First Amendment activity. We've always been very good at that. We continuously improve on that.
I want to talk about what's happening inside LA County jails now. So far this year, 10 inmates have died. I believe 46 in total last year. Where are we right now compared to those numbers last year, and what's going on?
Yeah, so when you talk about numbers, you got to remember every single one of those numbers is an individual. And they're in my care.
It's a life.
So I care about each and every one of them. And what I want our community to know is that each and every one of them gets reviewed. They get reviewed by, for example, our correctional health services, because they're our partners in custody when it comes to mental health care and health care, the US Department of Justice, the Office of Inspector General. So there's a whole group of people that look at each one. But what I also want people to know is that as our population is increasing again as a result of Proposition 36, we're seeing a much more fragile population. They are older, they are more unhealthy, and they're more mentally ill. As a matter of fact, we've reached 51% of our current population has mental health needs. That is not good for anybody. And by the way, I'm talking to other sheriffs across the country. They're seeing the same patterns. So a couple of things. One, as we look at these very important factors, just to throw out another statistic, with the deaths that occurred last year, 54% of them, and there's still some autopsies pending, were of natural causes. So that just solidifies the fact that people are sicker, older, and need more mental health care or health care when they're coming in. So that's important. But like our uses of force, as we're looking at numbers, they're down 16% throughout our custody facilities. So people sometimes think, oh, they died because it was a use of force. Not one use of force involved in any of those. But as I look forward to make conditions better, several things. I have instituted body-worn cameras in our custody facilities for the first time. So about half of our custody personnel will now have those.
How long has that been happening?
We started back in October of last year for custody. We've had body-worn cameras in other parts of the department now for several years. The other thing that we just did, and you may have been there for this, we had a grand opening where when you come into the inmate reception center where everybody comes in, we put together a new assessment center for correctional health. So there are better assessments being done for both health and mental health. That's a significant improvement, because remember, correctional health is a big part of what we do. Something else I'm thinking out of the box, we are doing a pilot program where people get these bracelets that monitor your vital systems, or vital signs, I should say. That's being tested at our women's facility in Linwood. If that works out, it's expensive and it costs money.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how much that costs.
It's worth a life if that's important. But there's one other factor. You hear a lot about the closure of Men's Central Jail, which Men's Central Jail has about 3,000 beds. That's something our community really needs to pay attention to, because the current policy is close it down with no replacement. I'm saying, no, we need a replacement. And my vision is a correctional care center. And a correctional care center basically we do wraparound services for people with mental health issues, addiction, substance abuse disorders, and we create more space for more programming, education, work. Those are the facilities we need so that when
with those services on site?
Yes.
So jailed there with the services on site.
And it wouldn't just be the sheriff's department. We would have a part of it, but our partners at the LA County Department of Mental Health, community-based organizations, correctional health. So it's a partnership, because envision this. Instead of us taking people into our care, and then we're just recycling them back out in the community where they're either reoffending or we become a pipeline to homeless camps. If we can put somebody in there and they see a social worker and they are able to fulfill their needs before they come back out, look what we're doing. We're improving the whole system.
This all sounds good, Sheriff, and it is an extremely challenging situation, and your deputies are on the front line. But I want to get your reaction to the lawsuit. Your department now under a lawsuit from AG Rob Bonta, who talks about the conditions in the jails, the facilities. He said, quote, in the complaint, inmates are forced to live in filthy cells with broken and overflowing toilets, infestations of rats and roaches, no clean water for drinking and bathing, saying this violates their constitutional rights. What's your reaction? And is the situation that dire inside your facilities? Very serious allegations, but I can't wait to go to court, because he and his staff looked at a pattern and practice of old information. Where we're at today, going into 2026, is completely different than where we were 3, 4, 5 years ago. We have several organizations that monitor our jails, 7 in total, to be honest with you. And all of them have seen, almost all of them have seen significant improvement on all those allegations. For example, when I became sheriff, one of the things I looked at is our budget when it came to janitorial services and pest control. And I've drastically increased both of them, so we have better or more cleanliness, less complaints of either rats or roaches and things like that. You're going to get those, but my goal is to be as safe, as clean, as healthy as possible. And the progression we've made, the trajectory that our people have us on, and I got to give all the credit to our folks in custody. They're amazing. They've done some amazing work. So when I say I can't wait to go to court to show the progress, the trajectory we've been on, the improvements we've made, I can't wait. But at the end, a lot of these issues have to do with facilities, and that's where I talk about the closure of Men's Central Jail and the importance of this correctional care center. That is critical to the care for our people, because as I kind of round out the answer, the way I look at it is, if one of your family members or one of your neighbors is in my custody and care, I want them to be treated as well as possible. That is my responsibility, and that's the goal.
So I know that your overarching plan to help alleviate these jails and get the inmates the care that they might need would cost some money. But then also the department is up against a number of lawsuits, as Bob was alluding to, $112 million defending these lawsuits this year. That's up 12% from last year. So how does the department plan to balance that with this need to invest more money into these different facilities?
Yeah, obviously the lawsuits are very important, but if you really dig down to these lawsuits and you understand the way the court system works, a lot of these lawsuits occurred, the actions that caused the lawsuits occurred several years ago. So when I came in, obviously putting my risk management hat on, this is where I rolled up my sleeves and started changing policy. I started changing the way we train to that policy. I started to change the way we hold employees in situations accountable. So if you start looking at what we're doing today compared to, like, say, 4 or 5 years ago, there's no comparison. The management is different, the accountability is different, policies are different. So a lot of these lawsuits deal with deputy-involved shootings. Last year, I had a 42% reduction in deputy-involved shootings. Uses of force, I'm down like 11 or 12% in patrol and 16% in custody. I could keep going with a lot of statistics. The trajectory we're on is really good. We're going to eventually lower those lawsuits that are coming in from community, and we've definitely reduced the lawsuits, even though there's still some there, employee-on-employee issues. I just created a different environment inside the Sheriff's Department.
We're out of time. Sheriff, we really appreciate you coming in, spending this much time with us and talking about these very important issues. And, of course, we'd love to see you back here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
We'll be right back.
Was I talking fast enough?
Welcome to Good Day LA. It's 8:30 on this Thursday, last Thursday of the month. We're almost done.
Right, still in the winter,
March.
but it still feels.
I know what happened. Winter
Summer-like temperatures.
Winter packed away the bag and left us. We've got summer here for us again today. So the heat is on most definitely. We had some patchy clouds and even some fog along our coast, but you know what? It's really dissipating. So we are anticipating the temperatures to really warm up quickly today. Possibly record-breaking high temperatures by the time we get to tomorrow. with plenty of 80s and 90s. There'll be some cooling, I think, by the time we get to Sunday into next week, but it's just a few degrees drop in those temperatures. It'll still be above normal. We started out like a lion, right? The month of February, we had a lot of hot temperatures, and then it cooled down. We had those storms that came through last week, 3 storms in a row. This week, just day after day of above average high temperatures. We got so much rain, 4.25 inches total with the storms that rolled through last week and the week before. I guess we can afford to stay dry for a little bit. It will be around 60, or it is right now, 60 degrees in downtown LA. Later this afternoon, expecting 81. That is well above the average of 68. And our sunset time, 5:47. These are the other highs. 88 in Woodland Hills. Same for Corona. 67 in Big Bear to the hot 95 in Palm Springs. Even hotter tomorrow. I'll show you that in the extended outlook. But first, let's check in on traffic. Samada's back in studio with a look at our freeways now. Hey, Samada.
Good morning, Maria. Yeah, things are definitely heating up in the traffic department, unfortunately. We have your ride really difficult. Mid-city into the downtown LA area. We do have a collision here. Yeah, reduced speeds down to right around 8 miles an hour. Eastbound 10 right there as you transition to the northbound 110. So just heads up into downtown. A tough drive. And also an update on this earlier collision involving a big rig at Hit Center Divider area. There's a lot of Caltrans work to repair the guardrail southbound side of the 5 at Templin Highway. Only the fast lane is closed. You can get through as they repair, again, that issue till about 1 o'clock. And both directions of the 10 there at Grand Avenue through West Covina looking really great. Jen, Bob.
All right, thank you, Samada. So a new lawsuit alleges that California schools failed to protect Jewish students from anti-Semitic harassment and violence. The suit was filed in LA Superior Court today from Jewish organizations on behalf of Jewish parents whose kids have allegedly been subjects of cruel, persistent, and pervasive anti-Semitism in public schools in California. And that includes LAUSD, as well as a middle school in San Bernardino County. Specific claims include students who were chased and told they should die, and others disciplined for wearing Jewish symbols. The groups are asking the court to require stronger oversight, anti-Semitism training, and enforcement of existing anti-discrimination laws. School districts have named in the lawsuit have yet to respond to the allegations.
The LA City Council is giving the fire chief a raise. Jaime Moore will earn just over $437,000 a year. This is $18,000 more than his predecessor, Kristen Crowley, who's currently suing the city. She claims Mayor Bass orchestrated a campaign of retaliation to shift blame for the devastating Palisades fire. Moore's new salary was recommended by Bass before going to the full council for approval. For close to 50 years, the Shea Center has helped people with disabilities in a very unique way.
Yeah, they use therapeutic horse-related programs. Coco McAvoy is live in San Juan Capistrano with more. Good morning.
Hey there, we are here at the Shea Center in San Juan Capistrano. This has been a staple for almost 50 years, helping people with therapy. It's really a therapy facility on 8 acres. And this is Dana, the CEO. She's here with Huckleberry. Huckleberry is a beautiful horse working with children and veterans. So I'm so excited to learn more about Huckleberry. Dana, thank you for joining us, and tell us all about Huckleberry.
Thanks for having us, Coco. Huckleberry is a gypsy cross, a gypsy Vanner cross. The gypsy breed was created in Europe and was used by travelers to pull their carts. They came to the U.S. in the 1990s and became very popular for their temperament, for their beauty, for their breed. He supports our veterans in our veteran program. He's a big boy. He also works with our clients in our therapy program. We're a nonprofit organization, and this beautiful place is powered by donations and by our clients and by our volunteerism. And Huckleberry and his friends, 28 other horses in the barn, are integral to our clients learning to walk, to talk, and to be their best selves. So we treated 75 different disabilities last year. We had kids learn to walk. We had adults learn to take their first step after a stroke. The #1 diagnosis we treat is persons on the autism spectrum, and then we treat people with genetic disabilities, cerebral palsy, and many, many more. But we look at what can people do and how can this unique environment help them be their best selves.
A truly unique environment. And if you can talk about how people can really be part of this if they need help.
Absolutely. SheaCenter.org, S-H-E-A Center.org. If you are here, local, need us, need our help. And if you're watching in another part of Southern California or even streaming this somewhere else, Google PATH International, and you'll find our national association, and click on Find a Center. And you will find one of 500 centers that may be near you. And look for a PATH Premier Accredited Center, too, because those folks have gone that extra mile for safety, quality, and efficiency.
That's amazing information. And if you can just talk about what it means to you to be part of this as well, this beautiful mission and movement here.
You know, this is a calling. I was that kid who loved horses. I became the executive that loves what nonprofits do for the world. To be able to combine those two things and see the joy, see the success that our parents witness in their kids, that our veterans get from being able to reestablish relationships with their families. It's a calling every day, and for 28 years, it feels like I still can't believe I get to come to work. This is a beautiful place doing beautiful things for people.
Well, thank you so much, Dana, and thank you so much, Huckleberry, as well. And I love how she put that. It's a calling, and I really get that sense while I'm here at this therapy facility on 8 acres. Everyone is so passionate. They love the horses. The horses are cared for so well, but they also love the people they serve. I'll send it back to you.
Yeah,
and Coco, we do have a fun fact. He has a mustache, and it's green.
He has a green mustache.
He's a green mustache because he just had breakfast.
He
so,
does.
Yes.
Wow.
Very French. I
Don't be
love
jealous, Bob.
I know. Yeah, I wish I could do that. Grow that hair. Developing this morning, Hillary Clinton says she does not recall ever meeting convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. That's what she told lawmakers under oath this morning. A live look from Chappaqua, New York, where a deposition is happening with Hillary and former President Bill Clinton. This is part of a congressional investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. The former Secretary of State testified behind closed doors in front of the Republican-led House Oversight Committee. She also said she has no information about Epstein's crimes. Former President Bill Clinton is also scheduled to testify, marking the first time a former president has been compelled to appear before Congress.
All right, Amanda's off today, but we've got you covered with your entertainment headlines, sponsored by Yamava Resort and Casino. So after scoring last summer with the racing movie F1, Apple is hoping to win again, but this time with bikes. After a competitive auction with several studios trying to get the rights, the studio ended up acquiring a movie about the rise and fall of Lance Armstrong. Austin Butler will star as the pro bicyclist who famously survived cancer, returned to win the Tour de France 7 consecutive times, but then admitted to blood doping. Apple says the movie combines elements of F1, the movie, Raging Bull, and The Wolf of Wall Street. Armstrong signed off on the movie.
So last hour we asked you, how many streaming services do you pay for? And here are the results so far. Wow, 5 to 10. That's a lot. And some of you, 36% of you say
more than 10.
More than 10.
There's so many out there.
Yeah.
Okay, so LA Art Week is underway, and a powerful new art fair is making its debut in Inglewood.
Brooke is live at Butter LA, where 100% of sales going directly to Black artists.
Yeah, so think about that. So, you think about, even if you are a famous artist that works with a gallery, you don't get all of the proceeds. You do here. I think it's a really special aspect of this. First of all, let's just start with the fact that it's called Butter, and they've incorporated, but it's just really cool. It's really fly. We're going to take you in there in the next hour. I mean, like, look at this. Look, is this a bench? Right here. It is a bench. I thought so. Yeah. Let me look at this. Stop. I would stop and be like, wait, I have to go in there. What's going on? What are they doing in there? And then you get in there, and it is beyond what you could imagine. First of all, thank you for being here with us this morning. And can you guys talk to us about what made you start this? Because you started this in Indianapolis, right? About 5 years ago. Tell me about that.
Oh my gosh, yes, we are so excited to be here with you. This is Butter. This is Butter Fine Art Fair, the first time we're launching here in LA. We're so honored to be here in Inglewood. Yes, we have been testing this in Indianapolis for 5 years to amplify the voices and, the artwork of Black artists from around the world, from Indiana, from California, and around the world. And so we're excited to be here.
Yeah, so 100%. That's what makes butter so special. But we have 42 visual artists. We have over 40 artists in our butter shop that has merchandise and wearables. We have over 30 DJs that will be playing over the weekend, all the food and the fashion dance. And so butter's a great time, and so happy to be in Inglewood.
Butter's a great time. You can tell it's going to be a really great experience in there, moving in some ways, fun.
Yes.
You know, you're just going to open your eyes and you're going to want to buy something for sure. Why butter? The people are going to want to know.
Absolutely.
Who wants to take this one?
Well, Alan named it butter, but and very intentionally. You know, we wanted to make this fair accessible and welcoming and familiar with everybody. And
every problematic relationship with butter.
It's comforting. We need it. It makes everything better. And so
It's a perfect name for our fair. And we get to do somewhat.
We're losing things there a little bit.
You guys do have a lot of fun in there. There's some fun merch in there. It's really cool. I'll send things back to you all in the studio. We're going to show you much more in the next hour here on Good Day LA. Butter.
Yeah. I like the butter bench.
I like the name. It's great. That's great.
Thank you. Okay, so coming up, how much of a Disney fan are you? For theme park lovers, sit tight. You're going to want to stick around for our next guest.
So after the break, we're discussing the unofficial fan guide that's making people's trips to Disneyland that much more dazzling. Lots of secrets if you plan on visiting the park. First, let's get a check of traffic.
Ooh, the unofficial guide. All right. Good Daily Weather, or should I say Good Daily Traffic, is sponsored by the offices of Jacob and Running. Call jacob.com. We have this ongoing issue, guardrail work. Caltrans is working hard due to an earlier collision. Northbound side of the 5 at Templin Highway. Only the fast lane is taken away, so you can get through. It's just going to be a little bit of a delay as you make your approach to the area till about 1 o'clock. Westbound 10, leaving downtown to get the west side, give yourself 53 minutes. Your drive at 48 minutes now. Westbound 60 from the 57, and a live Caltrans camera look. This is a live look through West Covina, both directions, looking really great at this hour. Here's a look at some other traffic hotspots.
I looked up and just ran.
Maybe we need to seek somebody who does have the expertise to be able to guide us through the process.
If you're getting to an accident,
You're in good hands by dealing with Jacob and Ron.
call Jacob.
And welcome back to you. I'm meteorologist Maria Quaban. This weather is sponsored by the law offices of Larry H. Parker. And here's a look outside. This is our camera upstairs, right on our rooftop here, looking towards Century City. And we see a little bit of that low cloud cover, some very patchy clouds and fog. It's going to burn off quickly. We have this area of high pressure that's in control of our weather, keeping the storm track away. In fact, the heat is on. We're going to look for 70s and 80s and 90s out in the desert today, but possibly hotter tomorrow into Saturday with potential record-breaking high temperatures. So we'll see if that happens. But if you've been looking for the rain, not really seeing any storms headed our way, but there might be a little drizzle chance as we get into next week, Wednesday, Thursday. But it's very spotty. We'll wait and see if that actually materializes. But for now, I think you can plan to wash your car, any outdoor activities. If you're headed to the beach, a great beach day on tap, 69 to 74, those temperatures on the sand. Otherwise, 2 to 4 foot sets rolling in for Ventura County beaches. The rest from LA south into Orange County, San Diego, just 1 to 2, 1 to 3 feet. Here is the 7-day forecast along our coast, 74 today to 81 tomorrow. We're going to cool it down a little bit as we get to next week, but it's still going to be above average. 81, lots of sunshine for downtown LA. 86 for Friday and Saturday. The record's actually 88, so it could tie or even break a record. We'll see. 88 for the valleys and the Inland Empire, getting up to 90 tomorrow. The mountains, 67 degrees up into Big Bear, so if you want to head up to do some skiing, there's a good snow base from the storms we've gotten, and maybe it'll be a t-shirt type of thing, snowing or skiing down the mountain. 76 in the high desert to the hot 95 today in Palm Springs. There's my weather for now. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Maria, thank you. Some important
doing
information.
some light reading.
Yeah, we got some very important information. If you think you know Disneyland, down to the Dole Whip stand and the fastest way to the Rise of the Resistance, think again.
I Love Disneyland dives into the secrets, the snacks, and the surprising history of the happiest place on earth. Authors Rye and Skyla Castles join us now to talk all about it. Real last name? Very appropriate.
Pen name. Our
pen name.
Yes, our pen name. Our channel is sometimes Castles.
I respect
So
it.
it felt good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, first question I got to ask you. To write a book like this, which is like the Bible, and I appreciate how small it is, by the way. You can put it in your bag. How many times have you guys been to Disneyland?
I mean, more than a few. I mean...
Okay, when it was showing us, it looked like maybe 600. Probably more.
They had a section on the thing where it said, like, how many times did you use a magic key?
Yeah.
And there was a period of time where it said about 600 and something
Wow.
Oh!
That's amazing.
Wow,
That's
so you know
amazing.
your stuff.
All right, so lots of folks out there actually know their stuff too, right? I'm
Yes.
sure you find. So there's diehard fans. They think they know just about everything. What is one Disneyland fact that just always blows everyone's mind when you tell them?
So when I tell people that on It's a Small World, those dolls, they need to get haircuts. The hair gets longer, so they have to get haircuts.
How?
How?
So people are like, well, it's weird. Their hair grows, right? Because of the moisture in there, and they use the yarn, it stretches over time. So when they do like the refurbishments on there, they'll tidy up the dolls because otherwise the hair gets longer.
They all get zhuzhed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, that's cool. Also, maybe like a little bit of mold, too, I would imagine.
Exactly, yeah. There's moisture in there in the building.
I mean, your book covers all the 9 lands,
Yes.
right? Where should somebody start to experience the park in a different way?
So one of my favorite tips is going into Fantasyland first thing in the morning.
Okay.
So you get there. It's called rope drop. So you want to be in the park at 7:30 in the
Go there
morning.
first.
The park opens at 8. You want to go into Fantasyland. So none of those rides have like what's called the lightning lane. So that's your sort of fast pass, skip the line.
Yeah.
So you want to do those first before those lines get long.
Which rides are those in Fantasyland?
So that's like Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, Mr. Toads.
Okay.
You want to kind of get
classics.
those out of the way
Okay.
before those lines get
All
long.
right, that's a good hack.
I mean, even something like Matterhorn. Matterhorn will have a shorter line in the morning, and it's technically a Fantasyland ride, even though it's faster.
Especially if it doesn't have that fast pass, then get
Yes,
those done
yes.
first when the lines are not as long. All right, so spring break, just around the corner, right? Beyond downloading the app, what is the top secret for families to save time at the park? You said one thing first, which is go to Fantasyland. How else can they save time?
If you have the app, I would mobile order food for pickup. Thing that most people don't realize is you can schedule things for later. So what we'll do is we'll schedule our lunch and dinner hours ahead of time. And then at lunch and dinner, when those are like 1 or 2 hour waits, we already have it waiting for us.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And if you don't push the I'm here to pick up button, it never charges you.
Okay.
So if you change your mind, you just don't push that button,
okay.
and you do something else.
So you can schedule the time, and then when you're ready, just activate it. Say we're ready to go.
And you can do that for rides too, can you?
But it's different. So rides, it's the lightning lane we were talking about. That costs extra, but the mobile order is free.
Ah, yeah. Okay, I've done that before, going there. Okay, now for those who have small children, I always see these parents who look like they're dead behind the eyes when they go to... How can we help them out? What are some hacks and some tips for them?
So we think that people try to plan their day just like minute to minute.
Yeah.
And Disneyland doesn't necessarily work that way. You should take things as they come. Leave room for magic is what we usually like to say.
Love that.
You might not get special character interactions if you're trying to schedule every single moment of your day. You might miss out on cool entertainment that's around the park, like the Dapper Dans or the Disneyland Band. You might not see those things because you're rushing from moment to moment.
You have your itinerary and your agenda.
You don't need it. There's so much to do. There's so much to see. Just leave room. And if you miss a ride, you miss a ride. It's okay.
Right. Okay, so what's the top amateur mistake most Disneyland park owners?
Besides what he did.
Definitely not checking the schedule before you go. So the schedule...
Says Bob, going on the 75th anniversary.
That's exactly what happened.
The schedule is listed on the Disneyland website about 30 to 45 days in advance.
Okay.
You can check ride closures, park hours, and entertainment before you go.
When they do like Disneyland After Dark events, the park will close early. The thing that most people that we talk about have like a frustration is they'll have a Disneyland day, not realizing Disneyland closed at 8 o'clock that day, and being frustrated about that. So checking the schedule lets you know if there's special events like that the park closes early.
Yeah. Can we expect more books like this on the way? Because I know that the park changes on a regular basis.
It does. I would love to do a V2, especially as Disneyland starts to work on things like Disneyland Forward.
Yeah.
Or even a California Adventure book would be really cool. They've got a lot of cool things coming to California Adventure.
I think we have like 30 seconds. So one last fun thing that people might not know about if they're heading to Disneyland. One thing that they should check out or something.
We think you should check out the evening entertainment.
Ooh.
Don't miss the parades, the fireworks, and World of Color.
So for the 70th until the end of summer, you have the Paint the Night Parade, you have Wondrous Journeys fireworks, you have a World of Color Happiness, and a bunch of little pop-up shows like Tapestry of Happiness. So I think evening has so much going on. And it's whatever you want it to be. And later in the evening, not a lot of people are still there. So walking up to the parade 5 minutes ahead of time and getting an awesome spot is super fun.
Who has the energy if you're going from rope drop all the way to the evening? You guys have the whole...
we think that's in the middle of the day.
Yeah. They can. Ryan, Skyla Castles, thank you. You can pick up your copy of I Love Disneyland wherever you get your books. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Bob. We'll have you back.
Yeah.
When everything changes again.
That's right. Yay.
Good morning. Welcome to 9 a.m. on this Thursday. I'm Roxy Carpadian.
And I'm Sandra Endo. Thanks for joining us. Let's take a look at today's headlines.
So many unanswered questions surrounding the FBI raid at LAUSD Superintendent Alberto Carvalho's home and at district headquarters. What we're learning at this hour.
Plus, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, he made national headlines for being deported to El Salvador. Will his criminal case be dismissed? The key points of contention in a court hearing happening today.
Plus, a massive tree collapses on a home in Pasadena. What we know about the severity of the damage. First, though, let's talk those weather conditions with Maria.
Yeah, and we've got some summer-like conditions definitely again today, so it's not going to feel like February. We've got an area of high pressure that's in control. We've got some high mid-level clouds. That's about it, but these are not rain-producing clouds. They'll filter out the sunshine a little, but it will also give us a beautiful sunset later this afternoon, so go ahead and check that out if you can. Temperatures are already warming up. It's nearly 80 degrees in Palm Springs. It's 76 in Woodland Hills in the Valley. It's in the upper 60s in downtown LA to that 50 degrees already in Big Bear. High temperatures today will range anywhere from the 90s, mid-90s in the low desert to the 76 there in the high desert areas like the Antelope Valley, 67 in Big Bear, downtown LA, 81 degrees. That's what we got yesterday, and that's a lot above the average. Upper 80s for the valleys and the Inland Empire, and even at the beach in the low to mid 70s. How long will this last? I'll let you know coming up in my complete forecast. Back to you.
Maria, thank you. The LA Unified School Board will meet today following FBI raids at district headquarters and the San Pedro home of Superintendent Alberto Carvalho.
Mario Ramirez has the latest this morning. Hi there.
Good morning, Sandra. Roxy, new details emerging. We're learning that these raids may be connected to a failed AI project the district previously approved. There's still so many unanswered questions following raids at two locations that we saw playing out, one at LAUSD headquarters, an office location, another at the San Pedro home of the superintendent. Take a look. This was all breaking about 24 hours ago, leaving neighbors in complete shock as warrants were being served at both locations connected to the superintendent. Federal agents spending hours appearing to collect evidence from inside the home. Now, here's what we know this morning. The search warrants used in the case are sealed by the court, so that basically means federal authorities aren't releasing specifics right now. According to sources close to the investigation, that project involved an AI startup hired to develop a chatbot for students and families, and the company at the center of the reporting is called All Here, which LA Unified contracted with in 2024. The chatbot was never fully launched. The company later shut down. Its founder charged with fraud in a separate case. Now, as for what we don't know right now, what we're still trying to learn this morning, the focus of the investigation, what was actually taken during the raids, if Carvalho himself will face any charges because of this, and how this could impact LAUSD, the second largest school system in the country, serving over 500,000 students. Now, a spokesperson with the school district says that they are fully cooperating with the investigation as it continues this morning, and they're also stressing that there's no clear sign that Carvalho himself is being charged or tied to any criminal activity. For now, live here, I'm Mario Ramirez. We'll send it back to you.
Mario, thank you. And how much do we know about the AI company that you just mentioned, All Here, and its dealings with specifically LAUSD?
Well, Roxia, we know this company was founded in 2016, so a decade ago, before it was shut down, and it's faced some legal challenges in recent years. So what we can tell you is that the district hired the company back in 2024, and they were working on an AI assistant named Ed that was supposed to be helping students and families throughout the district. The company collapsed within months. LAUSD ended up shutting down the deal and the program before it was launched. The founder, Joanna Smith Griffin, charged in 2024 with fraud and identity theft. And Araxia, we're also learning, according to the Associated Press, the district paid out millions to the company, part of a $6 million contract over several years.
Wow. Yeah, the superintendent was touting it at the time, saying it was going to be beneficial for students. But again, new revelations show that that company, did go under. All right, Mario, we'll stay on top of that and get more details as it comes available. Thank you for that. Onto this now, a massive oak tree started slowly falling onto two Pasadena homes early this morning.
And it continued to fall a little more until about 8 o'clock. Let's go to Gigi right now, live there at the scene. Huge, massive tree there behind you, Gigi.
That's right. It was a beautiful oak tree. This section of Pasadena, we're on Ladera, has tree-lined streets with absolutely gorgeous decades-old trees. Very, very old. You can see Pasadena Public Works hard at work trying to get this tree chopped up. And just moments ago, there was actually another close call as a Pasadena City Public Works worker was walking by a section of the house and a branch fell, hitting him on the side of his face. Thankfully, he was not seriously injured. But take a look at what it looked like this morning. The tree here on the 600 block of East Ladera Street in Pasadena came crashing down early this morning. One of the two homeowners affected tells me they had long been worried about this oak tree because the branches were starting to go over the house. Now, the city has been out here multiple times. I'm told they did cut away some of the branches, but there was a lot of concern that this tree could collapse. And after all the rain we had, well, the homeowners' fears finally came true. Two houses are affected. We spoke to Ian. He lives in the home with the lesser of the damage. He tells me it could have been worse. The tree actually pierced, though, a wall in his living room, and his home has now been yellow tagged.
It's right next to our bedroom, so we got up really quickly and came out front and saw that you can see the majority of it was really took the brunt of it on my neighbor's cars in their driveway. The whole thing was kind of uprooted. It had rotten roots.
And his neighbor taking the brunt of the tree crash. We're told there are two, possibly even three cars there underneath the tree. Bringing it back here live. Pasadena Public Works hard at work trying to chop this massive tree down. The street does remain closed here on the 600 block. And I'm going to leave you with that live look. Thankfully, no injuries to report, but certainly a lot of damage done to at least one home. Reporting live, I'm Gigi Graciette. Back to you.
Yeah, good reminder if you do live in a bucolic neighborhood to make sure those trees get checked out, especially after all the storms we've had. All right, Gigi, thank you.
Those neighborhoods are so beautiful, but then this can happen
when you
so
have mature
easily.
trees, especially. All right, FBI agents this morning continue to dig into a gated community rental home in Irvine where some sort of science lab has been found. Local first responders went to the home earlier this week about possible hazardous materials stored in the home. They called in FBI agents after finding some chemicals and written materials that raised serious concern. The FBI has said nothing about what has been found inside the home. So far, no arrests or evacuations at this point. And developing this morning, tensions are high between the U.S. and Cuba. Cuba says its government killed 4 passengers on a Florida-registered speedboat.
They claim the people on board fired at Cuban soldiers first and were, quote, trying to infiltrate the island with terrorist intent. That deadly gunfire happened yesterday in Cuban waters. 6 others on that boat were hurt, taken into custody by Cuban soldiers. Officials saying those on the boat were Cubans living in the U.S. who had known criminal histories. The shooting happened as Secretary of State Marco Rubio wrapped up a visit to the Caribbean. Rubio confirming this was not a U.S. government operation and says the Department of Homeland Security and the Coast Guard are launching an investigation.
Happening today, attorneys for Kilmar Abrego Garcia will try to persuade a federal judge in Tennessee to throw out human smuggling charges against him this morning. The charges come from a 2022 traffic stop in Tennessee. Body camera footage shows 9 passengers in the car with Garcia. Officers discussed suspicions of smuggling, but he was let go with a warning. Last year, Garcia was wrongfully deported to El Salvador, and the Trump administration was ordered to bring him back to the United States. He was charged upon his return. Garcia's attorney calls the charges vindictive and says it's an attempt to punish him for winning his wrongful deportation case.
New this morning, the Trump administration can no longer deport immigrants to countries they are not from. A federal judge ruled the DHS policy to deport immigrants to, quote, third countries is unlawful and could people in danger. The ruling also cites a U.S. law that prevents the government from removing someone to a country where their life or freedom may be threatened. The judge also ruled migrants have the right to, quote, meaningful notice and our chance to object to what's going on. The Trump administration expected to appeal this. The case appears likely headed for the Supreme Court.
Developing this morning, former U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton testifies on her alleged ties to Jeffrey Epstein. This is a live look from Chappaqua, New York, where the depositions are taking place. Clinton is answering questions in a closed-door interview, part of the House investigation into Epstein. This morning, the former First Lady says she hasn't met Epstein, saying, quote, I had no idea about their criminal activities. I do not recall ever encountering Mr. Epstein. Her testimony comes after months of resistance from the Clintons, including threats to hold the couple in contempt of Congress. Former President Bill Clinton is set to testify tomorrow. Bill Clinton says he knew Epstein, but says he cut off contact decades ago and claims he knows nothing about his sex crimes. Just like the Clintons, President Trump has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing on his part.
I've been totally exonerated on Epstein, and it's really interesting because they've been pulled in. Think of it. They've been pulled in. Clinton and many other Democrats have been pulled in.
On to other Epstein-related developments here. Some records related to a woman who claimed both Epstein and Donald Trump sexually assaulted her are missing. The woman made the claims in 2019 and said she was sexually assaulted by both men when she was a minor in the 1980s. The Justice Department said in a statement that, quote, should any document be found to have been improperly tagged in the review process, it will be published.
President Trump's nominee for Surgeon General just testified before the Senate yesterday. Wellness influencer and author Dr. Casey Means faced tough questioning on her qualifications about everything from vaccines to birth control. Means attended Stanford Medical School before opting to leave traditional medicine. She did not finish her residency training, and she does not have an active medical license. However, she is a key architect of the Make America Healthy Again movement. Democrats zeroed in on some of her past comments when it comes to birth control.
Called birth control pills, and I'm going to quote, a disrespect of life. And you said Americans, quote, use birth control pills like candy. Should women trust the FDA, which approved all 18 methods of birth control?
I absolutely believe these medications should be accessible to all women. And also, all medications have risks and benefits.
She did get some bipartisan support when telling senators the U.S. focuses too much on reactive sick care. Means still needs committee approval before a full Senate vote.
All right, coming up, we've got your entertainment headlines after the break, including a popular period drama returning today with part 2 of season 4.
First, though, check those roads with Maria. Yes, we do have some traffic. Good day, LA traffic brought to you by DTLA Law Group Accident and Injury Attorneys. A look outside at our real-time traffic graphic here. We've got some incidents on the board, but here's the live camera. This is, I believe, I can't see where it's at. You guys, can you help me in the booth? Because is that Grand Avenue? Is this on the 10? Okay, it is the 10 freeway at Grand Avenue. Thank you so much for that confirmation. Both sides of the 10 here looking like it's moving nicely now. The drive times in and out of downtown LA, as we take a look at the westbound 10 going towards Santa Monica between the 5 to the 405, 33 minutes. Northbound 110 between the 405 to the 10, 32 minutes. And it's about 42 minutes on that west 60. Here's some other traffic hotspots.
This broadcast is locally sponsored by DTLA Law Group, Auto Accident and Injury Attorneys. Have an injury? Text Injury Help to 40222 or visit us online at calldowntown.com. Message and data rates and usage may apply.
Welcome back. Hi there. Amanda's off today, but we've got your entertainment headlines sponsored by Yamava Resort and Casino. If you have Netflix, the heat is back on today.
Being a mistress is the last thing I would ever want.
How else am I to be with a woman society has made it impossible for me to be with?
You must be brave. You cannot let fear stop you from letting your heart speak.
Netflix has released part 2 of the 4th season, which dives into Benedict and Sophie's forbidden romance. We're told if you watch, make sure to continue watching after the credits roll for an additional scene. You can watch the full season on Netflix now. Bridgerton.
Good forbidden romance.
I now kind of want to watch it.
Yeah?
I want to start watching it. It's on my list now.
Okay, well, you have a lot to catch up.
List.
I stopped watching it earlier on, so I don't know if you can just pick up anywhere. I'm not sure. We'll have to ask Amanda when she comes back tomorrow. So getting the best seat at the movies may now come at a heftier price tag for AMC customers. AMC Theaters will begin reserving its best seats for the company's Stubbs loyalty members. The new program will apply to AMC's A-List and Stubbs Premium members and currently pay between $18 to $28 a month. AMC CEO saying that he hopes the new exclusive benefit will increase brand loyalty. The program expected to launch later this year.
All right, I have $1 million question for you. Okay, what's the key to a successful relationship? Maybe one with hand-holding, smiles, and genuine laughter. Well, here are a few secrets. How about say thank you for the small tasks like cooking or taking out the trash? Really? Taking out the trash? Okay. Make an effort to improve physical touch, like a hug before sleeping. Stay curious and go beyond the surface level. Don't just ask, how was your day, and move on and not really listen. They say actively listen and follow up with more questions. And when it comes to arguing, this is a big one. You can focus on the issue, but you cannot attack someone's character and bring up all the dirt from the past. That's right. Avoid using always or never statements. And lastly, be vulnerable and choose your partner every day. If you need help, say so. If they need help, support them. Your partner comes first, not your job or your parents or your kids. Easier said than done, all of it,
you
right?
You just threw in the kids. That wasn't written. That was not written in there.
That's the trap so many parents fall into, right? It's all about the kids, which
the kids take over.
Should be important.
I know you laughed at the say thank you for the trash being taken out, but let me tell you, my husband really wants me to thank him every day for taking the trash out, and it drives me nuts because do you thank me for loading and unloading the dishwasher,
or doing the laundry,
just the basic things? Why do I need to say thank you?
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things you have to know your partner, right?
I know.
And know what they appreciate. Yeah, words of affirmation.
The love language.
Yeah,
yeah. Everyone has a different love language. Anyway.
All right.
Thank you for watching, though.
Good luck with that, everybody. All right, coming up, with so many paywalls making it harder to watch your favorite sports teams, the FCC is now taking a closer look at broadcasting sports rights. So we'll explain coming up.
And welcome back to you. I'm meteorologist Maria Quaban. This weather is sponsored by Pechanga Resort Casinos. If you take a look outside right now, you'll probably see that kind of view, right? Well, if you're up in the higher elevations, that was our Mount Wilson camera. You could see kind of a layer of some high mid-level cloud cover. But the bottom line is we've got this area of high pressure that is in control of our weather, and that's going to keep the storm track away. It's weak enough to give us an offshore flow that's not really giving us too much in the way of gusty winds. It's also allowing some of these high mid-level clouds to move up from the southwest, just filtering out the sunshine a little bit, but definitely strong enough to keep those storms away. Next week, Wednesday into Thursday, we may tap into an area of low pressure that could give us some light drizzle, but no organized systems headed our way, so no significant rain expected through even the end of next week, which, by the way, we start a new month this Sunday, March 1st. Will be here with us in no time. 81 expected for downtown LA today, 97 in Indio as we look at our forecast highs here in Woodland Hills. Notice how it will be even hotter tomorrow with that 90 degrees, and then we'll cool it down a little bit Sunday into next week, but that's still above normal. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Maria, thank you. Federal regulators want to know how consumers are feeling about the cost of more sports teams shifting from regular free TV broadcasts to pay-to-view streaming services. The FCC says many sports consumers find it more difficult to find the events they want to watch and more difficult to sign up for streaming services, not to mention the expense. So in a public notice, the agency wants to know your thoughts on whether trend to streaming service is good or not, and how it's impacting your ability to watch your favorite teams. However, the public notice did not say whether the FCC was looking to take any specific actions after the fact, like new rules in response to the public's opinion.
This comes as a new analysis finds the price of digital subscriptions are on the rise. The online platform Deposit Account says that researchers examined the prices of 15 popular subscription services over the last 6 years, and this is what they found. The study finds that Americans are paying 19% more than they did in the year 2020. Subscribers pay for an average 4.5 services, equating to about $84 a month. Average of 2,000 people conducted in January found subscriptions are starting to get fed up. They're just getting tired of all that. 1/3 of the respondents say that they canceled at least one digital subscription. I think if you can remember which ones you have, that helps.
Yeah.
In the last 6 months, due to the cost, what happens is you subscribe to so many, well, I'll speak for myself. I subscribe to so many things,
Right.
even if it's just for like, oh, I'm going to do this just for a limited time. Completely forget about it.
And then you start paying it monthly because it kicks in
and don't even notice, maybe, right? So it's a big problem.
Yeah, it is. And that leads us to our poll question of the day. How many streaming services do you pay for? So here are the results so far. Okay, more than 10 leading the pack.
My
no,
gosh.
5 to 10 or more than 10. So a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, you've signed up for a lot. If you haven't voted yet, there's still some time. So go to foxla.com/vote and let us know. We'll be right back.
Good morning. Welcome to 9:30 on this Thursday morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm Roxy Carpadian.
And I'm Sandra Endo. Let's take a look at today's headlines. A new round of talks between the U.S. and Iran. What's happening today in Geneva as the U.S. builds its military presence in the Middle East?
Plus, LA County Sheriff Robert Luna was on Good Day LA earlier this morning to discuss multiple topics, including inmate deaths and a planned student walkout.
And celebrating Black artists, Brooke's showing us how a powerful new art fair is making its debut in Inglewood. But first, to check on the forecast.
Yeah, checking in on the heat. The heat is on, most definitely. We've got some patchy clouds really dissipating, though, along our coastline, but we're seeing plenty of sunshine mixed in with some of that high cloud cover. Temperatures heating up to 70s, 80s, and 90s today, and then tomorrow, more of the 80s and 90s. So potentially we could be tying or even breaking some record high temperatures. It'll cool down a little bit as we get to Sunday into next week. However, it will still be above average. And this is all part of the offshore flow, and you can tell that that's what we have out there. We've got these arrows coming from the northeast toward the southwest. That's that airflow. Not too gusty, but it's enough to warm up the atmosphere. And it started out that way for the month of February, right? You remember that? And then we had a couple of weeks of some really stormy conditions, and we got all that rain. And now, as we end the last week of February here, we're going to end on a really hot days again. The rainfall total was very impressive. We got 4.25 inches of rain this month, and I guess we deserve a little dry break from the rains. 81 degrees for downtown LA today. 5:47 is our sunset, and these are the highs in the upper 80s today to 95 in Palm Springs. I'll be back with the 7-day in just a few moments. Back to you.
The United States and Iran will meet for a third round of talks today over Iran's nuclear program, and both sides say they are prepared for military action. Even with a growing fleet of U.S. warships nearby, Iran is vowing to keep pressing forward with its nuclear program. Iran says it's willing to discuss its nuclear ambitions, however, refuses to talk about its missile program. Iran's foreign minister says the stakes are clear if these talks don't succeed and the U.S. takes action.
There would be no victory for anybody. It would be a devastating war.
For a country that's facing sanctions, whose economy is in tatters, whose people are suffering, and somehow they still find the money to invest in missiles of greater and greater capacity every year.
Iran says it's not ready to give up its right for peaceful use of nuclear technology, which could lead to an impasse in the talks.
In the meantime, talks between Ukrainian delegation and U.S. envoys also expected to happen in Geneva today. This after President Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky spoke on the phone yesterday. Zelensky posted on X that U.S. and Ukrainian teams are working intensively to end the war in Russia. And during his State of the Union, President Trump said that he is focused on getting Moscow and Kiev back to the bargaining table. The main sticking points remains, though, territorial concessions. Speaking with Fox News, Zelensky pushed back on suggestions by President Trump that Ukraine is holding up the peace process. And developing this morning, police say newly unsealed court documents reveal singer David is connected to a teen whose body was found in the trunk of his car last year. The documents list is, in quote, target in the murder of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. His family faces subpoenas and potential arrests for noncompliance. But charges have not been filed in this investigation, and the exact timeline of when Rivas was killed is still unclear. The teen's cause of death has also not yet been released.
All right, this is a crazy story out of Santa Clarita right now. A man gets into a standoff with police after his roommates say he tried to poison them. They say this isn't the first time he's done this as well. So take a look at this video. The tenants say they caught their roommate on camera spraying their groceries with some sort of liquid. Deputies got called to the house on Cedar Ridge Court Monday afternoon after the tenants say he had returned home. That's what sparked a standoff that lasted for several hours there and eventually ended with the suspect in custody.
Find the video, but when we found it twice, where he was spraying stuff all over our groceries, like our fruit, our vegetables, our coffee pot that we use every morning, and our whole pantry full of all of our chips and our cereal, all of our canned goods, our spices, everything.
Like touch like our face, whatever, you know, something itches, and it would burn and it would itch really bad. Like if you're like allergic to something, you know, it's horrible. So
and neither one of us
when we kind of exactly. So when we put the pieces together, we figured out that Tim.
Deputies say the suspect was later released to family members and issued a citation to appear in court. The tenants say they've suffered serious health problems that landed them in the hospital many times. Authorities say they've been called to the house about food poisoning twice before.
Happening today, the woman at the center of a landmark social media trial underway in downtown LA will resume her testimony. The 20-year-old, only going by the name KGM, is suing Meta and Google for being harmful to her mental health growing up. Her attorney says that she's been on social media since she was 6 years old, making YouTube videos and posting content. KGM says that she was online nonstop, and apps like Instagram ended up exposing her to harmful and depressing content that led her to self-harm and sextortion.
I see myself in KGM. I see my friends in KGM. I see my younger sister in KGM. And we are all united in this pursuit of justice against this generation's big predatory industry.
YouTube's lawyer says that KGM failed to use platform features designed to protect users from bullying, including tools to delete comments and limit time spent watching videos.
And speaking of helpful tools here, Instagram will alert parents if their teen repeatedly searches for terms related to self-harm. The new feature is part of the platform's parental supervision program and goes beyond blocking the harmful content by sending parents notification by email, text, or within the app itself. Along with the alert, parents will receive resources and guidance on starting what could be a difficult conversation. Meta says it worked with mental health advisors to set limits on what triggers an alert to balance safety with privacy. The update begins rolling out next week for parents enrolled in the app's parental supervision program.
Today at the White House, Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos is scheduled to attend several meetings to give an update on the big Warner Brothers Discovery merger. Netflix is one of the two groups trying to acquire WBD. Paramount Skydance is the other group. Sarandos was also in D.C. earlier this month, and he took part in a congressional hearing defending the Netflix bid over the claims that it could be a monopoly. It is unclear, though, if Sarandos will meet with President Trump, and the president recently demanded that Netflix fire board member Susan Rice. It came after she made comments critical of the administration. Rice was, as you may know, previously the U.S. National Security Advisor and ambassador to the UN under President Obama.
For close to 50 years, the Shea Center has helped people with disabilities in a very unique way.
Yeah, so they use therapeutic horse-related programs. Coco McAvoy is live in San Juan Capistrano with that. Good morning.
Hey there, the Shea Center is an incredible place here in San Juan Capistrano. It's been here almost 50 years now, and it's a therapy facility on 8 acres. And we want to show you how that physical therapy works. I'm here with Randy, doctor of physical therapy. So tell us about why horses are so beneficial.
Absolutely. I'm going to show you in a visual demonstration using Huckleberry, who you already met, and one of your own, Colleen. Colleen, if you could put your hands on your pelvis. And then let's watch as her pelvis is moving. It's moving in the same exact three-dimensional planes as the horse's pelvis. So we see her pelvis going front to front, or sorry, front to back, side to side, and rotationally. That movement is then translated up her spine into her trunk, and we see that happening as the horse is moving through space. Wow. This is the exact same way that typical human movement has to occur in life. Walking, standing, putting on your clothes, even speaking out loud. We need this normalized movement of her pelvis and her trunk, and that's happening as the horse is walking, the hoof hits the ground, and it sends that reaction up the human. This is mobilizing her joints, activating her muscles, and stimulating her balance reactions. Christina is our ground driver here. Can you please ride a walk-halt transition?
And while she's doing that, if you can talk about the team, too, and how not only physical therapy is used, but there are other forms of therapy.
Absolutely. We have a team of physical therapists, occupational therapists, and speech-language pathologists who are all using the horse's movement, or hippotherapy, as our primary treatment strategy. This is a holistic experience. So we're not only getting the strength of her muscles and her balance strategies improving, but we're activating the sensory systems, and we're strengthening her cardiopulmonary system and her diaphragm for talking. As the horse is walking on a straight line, we see that movement. Just like when she goes through a curved line, we are accentuating the symmetry of the human body. So the trunk muscles on the inside of the curved line shorten, the ones on the outside of the curved line lengthen. We see that as she changes direction. So this is incredibly impactful for anyone who has symmetry deficits or muscle imbalance. We're able to really normalize the whole system.
Well, I love that.
But even better is that it's fun.
Yes.
And we can activate other functional activities. And for the primary patients that we treat, our pediatrics, our children, their main function is to play.
Okay.
So I have a ball. Colleen, are you ready to catch?
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Good catch, Colleen. We love that.
You can throw back.
That's so amazing. The Shea Center is such an amazing place, working with kids as young as 2, with also people up to 80 years old. Actually, the oldest client they've had was 101 years old. And like you said, a lot of great play involved and a fantastic team as well. I'll send it back to you.
That's pretty amazing. Making a big difference, that's for sure. Thank you, Coco. Okay, gotta show you this. The Winter Olympics just wrapped up, and double gold medal figure skating winner Alyssa Lou. Do you see her? Already on a mural. How about that? How fast is that?
Great.
Yeah, this is the side of a building in Crenshaw Boulevard. This is in Gardena, painted by artist Gustavo Zermeño Jr. It shows Lou gleefully biting that gold medal she won for winning the women's singles title. Her second gold came in the team competition. Lou is an Oakland native who's been studying psychology at UCLA.
I love that. I gotta go see it myself.
That's a great mural.
Yeah, the joy on her face. He captured it perfectly. And a massive new mural honoring 3 Japanese-born Dodgers stars is coming to the LA area. Renowned artist Robert Vargas will unveil Samurai of the Diamond at the DoubleTree Hotel in Torrance. It will feature Shohei, Roki, and Yoshi. The mural celebrates Torrance's ties to Japan as a friendship city to Oshu. Vargas begins painting this Sunday with the full unveiling set for March 24th.
Nice. LA Art Week draws collectors around the world, and a new fair creating some space for Black artists to shine.
Brooke Thomas is live at Butter LA in Inglewood, where immersive works of art are on display. Hi there, Brooke.
Hey there, yeah, so this is a really, really cool experience, and the biggest thing they do here, it really is about paying it forward, and honestly, you being able to almost like experience your worth as an artist, right? I love the whole no commission thing, because that doesn't happen really anywhere in the industry. And understandably, it's an almost impossible way to do business. But that's the point here. The artists put all of this work into it, and they're able to make all of their money from what they do and what they sell. And that's a really cool part of this. We are inside, as you can see. Butter is tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. So they are putting, finishing touches on things. You can see there's a lot of work. There are a lot of people in here doing a lot of work. You can see some of the gems kind of peeking through. They're absolutely getting ready. But talk to me about this experience, Sean.
Well, Butter is something that's close to my heart. I went to Indianapolis 3 years ago and fell upon this art fair. And 15 minutes on being inside, I was like, this has to come to L.A.
That's great.
And so I've been working 3 years with the founders to bring this to L.A., and we're excited. We're excited about the feeling of Butter. Just as you said, the fact that the artists get 100% of their profits. And also it represents us. It represents, our contribution to the art industry, and so I'm so excited.
I feel like we are art, right, in so many ways, and so being able to have it all in a bubble, and then also the fact that the people who put this work in, they get to make their money from it, and it's not going to different aspects of the business, which are understandable in other situations. It's just really cool that you guys do it here. Butter, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. Come check it out. This is a nationwide known art show, I should say. And they are bringing it to our area, Southern California, for the first time. We get to experience it here. It's going to be art. They're going to have a DJ. There's going to be fun. You're going to want to buy things. Which, really quick, I just want to show, as I'm sending things back to you all in the studio, something they do really cool here. The name is Butter. You got to have a little fun with that, right? The merch is so cool. Look at this LA shirt. How about that?
Yeah, that's so cool.
Back to you.
It's great.
It's good, right? It's good stuff.
I like that a lot.
Very creative. All right, Brooke, thank you. Take a break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. From jail deaths to student protests, it's been a busy few weeks for the LA County Sheriff's Department. And earlier on Good Day LA, we caught up with Sheriff Robert Luna to talk all about it. And when asked about tomorrow's statewide walkout over immigration raids, he says it's not much different from any protest the department is tasked to handle, and urged everyone to be safe out there and to curb violence and destruction of property. We also touched on the rise of inmate deaths in LA County jails, with 10 being reported just this year alone. He says the passing of Prop 36 in 2024, which increased punishment for people convicted of certain drug or theft crimes, is making the jail population get older and, in turn, more prone to health issues.
A much more fragile population. They are older, they are more unhealthy, and they're more mentally ill. But like our uses of force, as we're looking at numbers, they're down 16% throughout our custody facilities. So people sometimes think, oh, they died because it was a use of force. Not one use of force involved in any of those.
He also says over half of those who died in jails were of natural causes, but hopes the new implementation of body-worn cameras in jails and better assessments for physical and mental health can improve lives for the county's incarcerated.
All right, let's talk weather now because we've got some pretty nice weather here, so no need to go anywhere. In case you're flying out of Ontario International Airport, of course, I've got your forecast for some of the cities across the country. That camera sponsored by Ontario International. If you're headed to Denver, 64 degrees with a lot of sunshine today. Houston, a high just of 81 degrees. That's actually pretty warm. Atlanta, 64 with a chance for some thunderstorms. Chicago, 41 degrees. New York, JFK, 42 with more snow headed to the northeast as we get into the end of the week. 2 to 4 feet for Ventura County beaches, and surf heights a little smaller as you head farther south into LA County, Orange County, and San Diego. And those temperatures on the sand getting into the low mid-70s. Downtown LA, 81 today, hotter tomorrow and Saturday. A chance for some record high temperatures tomorrow and maybe even tying some records. So we'll wait and see if that happens. It cools down a little bit next week, but it's still going to be above average. 88 for the valleys and the Inland Empire, getting to 90 degrees tomorrow. Back down to the low mid-70s as we head into early next week, but it looks like it's going to stay dry. 67 up into the mountains, a little tough to go skiing and snowboarding, and there are such mild conditions you just won't have to wear all that gear, but it's still fun if you want to head up to our local mountains. We have a great base from all the snow we received last week. 76 in the high desert today, and out towards the Coachella Valley, of course, hotter. Expecting 95 there today to 97 tomorrow. I'll send it back to you two.
Oh, we're talking fashion, actually, because,
Yeah.
I mean, this is beautiful. It truly is.
New season,
right.
let's go.
Soccer fans gearing up, of course, to cheer on their favorite players as the National Women's Soccer League is about to kick off the new season.
I'm all about it, and along with the new season, of course, the new kits. Angel City FC co-founder, President Julie Ehrman is here now to talk all about this unveiling. Welcome. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. I'm ready for the season to start.
Ready. Next month. Here we go. This is so nice.
Look at the new kits.
Yeah.
So today's a big day. You're unveiling these. These are beautiful with the crest in the middle. Tell us all about the design.
Yeah, this is our 2026 kit. We call it the Flair Kit. What you see is the edginess of Angel City, the resilience of Angel City, and we tried to show that off by putting the crest in the center. It draws your attention and eyes to the center. It's metallic, so it kind of embodies our city, the resilience of our city, and then from that crest, you see these beautiful Art Deco sunbeam rays. I like to say that Angel City superhero mode has been activated for the year.
I love it.
It's also the color. It's like this beautiful, like rose goldish pink. I love it.
Yeah, it's the Angel City. Yeah, it's the Angel City Soul Rosa.
Yeah.
And we like to say from soul to soul. I mean, this really is a kit that exemplifies our heart, the hustle that you're going to see on the pitch. And what's really special about this one is our partners worked with us on this. DoorDash, Nix, and Sprouts came together, did their marks in Soul Rosa to show one unified look and feel, which is exactly what you're going to feel when you're in our stadium.
I love the Soul Rosa, the metallic nature of the crest. It really puts the bling in Angel City, right? And you guys are all about the bling, the superstar factor of the
LA.
team.
You gotta have the bling.
We like to say it's the glitz and the glamour. This is the light and the dark coming together. The Soul Rosa representing the sunsets, the grit with the metallic. This is really special. It's our 5th season. We kick off on March 15th at BMO Stadium at 4 p.m. on Sunday. We'd love to have everyone show up. You can get tickets today at angelcity.com, as well as these new kits.
Yeah, talk about the grit we're going to see on the pitch this season. What can we expect? This is the 5th season, as you mentioned, and we want to go big, right?
This is a big season for us. We have Alex Strauss, our head coach, who joined us in the middle of last season. So this will be his first full season coaching us. We have a lot of new players on our roster as well. Allie Riley and Kristen Press retired last year. You're going to see Savvy King back, Riley Tiernan, who was up for NWSL Rookie of the Year. We have new talent like Emily Sands and Argy Borges, who's from the Brazilian national team. So you'll see some new faces.
Hina in the middle.
Hina Sagita in the middle, holding it down.
I love it.
With the Hina Martin, Neely Martin. So there's a lot to be excited about for the season.
Well, speaking of excitement, LA is being the host city, of course, for the World Cup. How is that impacting you guys?
It's going to be all soccer all the time. I mean, the more people talk about soccer, come to games, get excited. Once the World Cup leaves, you'll have the opportunity to go see LAFC, LA Galaxy, and also Angel City Football Club. I think we have 8 games here, so we're super excited to be hosting the World Cup and to have the USA Men here as well.
And talk about such an interest on soccer and everything surrounding the World Cup. The challenges that you may be facing this season, because there's a lot of pressure, right, to deliver.
This is season number 5. It is time to deliver on the pitch. We talk about how we want to build a dynasty on the pitch and a legacy off the pitch. We've been incredibly successful generating the highest revenue, ticket sales, attendance of any team in the NWSL, but now it's time to show off on the pitch, and that's what we intend to do.
And you've done so much for the communities. What I love about the team, I see Angel City FC everywhere, from youth clinics to being out there in the community to help the people who are less fortunate. Tell us about that, because it's been an all year long initiative for the team to really be out there in the community.
Absolutely. I mean, almost literally from day one, we wanted to build an organization where mission and capital could coexist, and we put it into the DNA of Angel City. Through our 10% sponsorship model, 10% of our sponsorship revenue goes back into the community. Since 2020, we've put $4.9 million to work.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
And just a couple of weeks ago, we announced a 3-year extension with LA Recs and Parks, where we're contributing another $3 million over the next 3 years to really improve and increase instruction and play for young girls and gender-expansive youth in our communities.
I love to see it. All right, that's why you want to rep their new kit for the new season. Angel City FC all around town, all around the city. Let's cheer for them as opening day is right around the corner.
She'll be there.
Yes,
She'll be there.
I'll be there. I'll be in the stands cheering the girls on. All right, for tickets for the upcoming season, they're on sale now, so go to angelcity.com for the full schedule, ticket availability. Join us cheering them on, and we'll be right back.
You need to hire Sandra.
Look at this.
She's one of our best cheerleaders. Good morning. Welcome to 10 a.m. Here's some of the stories we're covering for you this morning.
Coming up, new details after the FBI raids the LAUSD headquarters and the home of the superintendent. What we're learning and what's still a mystery this morning just ahead.
And in Pasadena, a large oak tree came crashing down early this morning, damaging 2 homes and taking out several cars. We're live.
Wow, might have something to do with all that rain we got, right, this month. Right now, no rain. We've got mostly high clouds, but also some sunshine. When will our weather change back to winter? I mean, it feels like summer outside. I'll have the answer coming up in my complete forecast.
Hillary Clinton testifies before a House panel about her knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein and surprises many with her answers. All right, a very big oak tree took all night to fall onto a couple of homes, cars, and power lines over in Pasadena.
Yeah, it was a real gradual process, but devastating nonetheless. Gigi Graciette is live there with more. Gigi.
Thankfully, no injuries to report, and the damage to the houses, I'm told, is a minor, although several cars were wiped out. Good morning, everyone. We're on Ladera here in Pasadena. The Department of Pasadena's Public Works and Forestry, both here on the scene, working very hard to chop this beautiful, or what once was a beautiful oak tree, down after it came crashing down early this morning. Neighbors tell me they had long been worried about the beautiful tree on Ladera. This is one of several tree-lined streets where the trees are decades old. They were concerned because they said the tree was leaning towards the homes, and their concern, well, unfortunately came true this morning when the tree crashed down, hitting 2 homes, one of them now yellow tagged, the other green tagged, but that neighbor lost several cars. The concern, neighbors told me, was not only that the tree was leaning towards the houses, but that the roots were actually rotting.
Right next to our bedroom, so we got up really quickly and came out front and saw that you see the majority of it was really took the brunt of it on my neighbor's cars in their driveway. The whole thing was kind of uprooted. It had rotten roots.
And Ian shared this picture with us of the damage done to his house. Again, he says it's relatively minor. It could have been so much worse. And the most important thing is that no one has reported any injuries. Reporting live in Pasadena, I'm Gigi Graciette. Back to you.
Wow. All right, Gigi, thank you. The LA Unified School Board will meet today following FBI raids at district headquarters and the San Pedro home of Superintendent Alberto Carvalho.
Mario joining us right now with the very latest on this story we've been following since yesterday when news broke.
Yeah, that's right, Araxia, Sandra, and there's still no official confirmation from the FBI, but we can tell you, according to a report from the LA Times, this all may be connected to a failed AI program the district previously approved. Now, take a look. We were there on the ground watching that unfold, that raid in the San Pedro home. The other at the LAUSD headquarters, both connected to Superintendent Alberto Carvalho. Federal agents spending hours appearing to collect evidence from both locations. Now, here's what we know. The search warrants used in the case, well, they're sealed by the courts, meaning federal authorities aren't releasing specifics right now. According to sources close to the investigation, that project involved an AI startup hired to develop a chatbot for students and families. The company at the center of the reporting, called All Here, which LA Unified contracted with in 2024. The chatbot was never fully launched. The company later shut down, and its founder was charged with fraud in a separate case. Now, as for what we don't know, what we're still trying to learn this morning, the focus of the investigation, what was actually taken during the raids that we saw playing out, if Carvalho himself will face any charges, and how this could impact the LA Unified School District, the second largest school system in the country, serving over 500,000 students. Now, we did hear from a spokesperson with the LA Unified School District saying that the district is fully cooperating with the federal investigation as it continues this morning. Sandra and Araxia?
Mario, a little bit more on this. How much more do we know about that AI company mentioned All Here and its dealings with the LAUSD?
Well, we actually did learn this morning, Araxia, that millions were paid out, at least half of the contract, a $6 million contract spanning over several years before it was shut down. Now, we can tell you that the company in question, as you mentioned, All Here, an educational tech company founded a decade ago. The district hired the company in 2024 to create that AI-assisted program to help district students and families, calling it a game changer at the time. Well, less than 3 months later, the company collapsed into bankruptcy. The founder, a former teacher, Joanna Smith Griffin, was charged with fraud and identity theft. And according to the LA Times, Carvalho previously denied any personal involvement in selecting All Here to work on that artificial intelligence program to help students and families throughout the district.
All right, Maria, more to come. That is for sure. Thank you so much for staying on top of that and for digging a little deeper on that. Appreciate it. Developing news here in Irvine, where FBI agents investigating a rental home where some kind of a science lab was found. First responders went into the home earlier this week about possible hazardous materials, and they were calling in the FBI agents then to come look for chemicals and written material that raised some serious concerns. The FBI has said nothing, though, about what has been found inside of that home, and we can tell you that as of right now, no arrests or evacuations as a result of all of this. So keeping an eye on that.
All right, on to this. Police say newly unsealed court documents reveal singer David is connected to a teen whose body was found in the trunk of his car last year. The documents list him as, quote, a target in the murder of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. His family faces subpoenas and potential arrests for non-compliance. But charges have not yet been filed in this investigation. The exact timeline of when Rivas was killed is unclear. The teen's cause of death also has not yet been released.
All right, let's talk about our weather now, as we expect much warmer conditions as we get into this afternoon and into tomorrow. This is all because of an area of high pressure that is in control of our weather, keeping that storm track away. It's weak enough to where our winds aren't that strong coming out of the northeast, and that offshore flow also allowing to bring up some of the high cloud cover from the southwest, but definitely keeping that storm track up into Northern California. Next week, we do look at this model here, and it looks like a low pressure system will get close enough to where it will increase the onshore flow a little bit and maybe give us a chance for some spotty drizzle, but generally that high will still be there, keeping the organized systems away from us. Maybe next weekend, not this coming weekend, but next weekend, some of the long range models are pointing to the possibility of some light showers, but it's a long ways away, and anything could change between now and then. So I'll keep a close eye on the models and keep you posted. In the meantime, through this weekend, it will stay dry, so whatever you have planned outdoors, it'll be good. Temperatures right now already warming up to near 80 in Woodland Hills, 78, 71 in Burbank, 71 in Corona. Big Bear, it's already 57 degrees, 82 in Palm Springs, and it will get up to those 90s in Palm Springs today. The low desert, 95 degrees. The high desert areas in the Antelope Valley, like Lancaster, Palmdale, 76, 67 eventually up into Big Bear. And as we look at our highs for downtown LA, 81, Valleys, Inland Empire, upper 80s to the mid 70s along our coast. I'll show you the rest of the forecast in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, Maria. A new poll shows the race for California governor incredibly close. 5 candidates are in a statistical tie within 4 percentage points of each other. This just months before the June primary, and with 9 Democrats in the field, party leaders worry that 2 Republican candidates could advance to November's general election. So let's take a look. Here's a look at the numbers. You've got Steve Hilton has the support of 14% of likely voters, followed by former California Congresswoman Katie Porter at 13%. Riverside Sheriff Chad Bianco coming in at 12%, Congressman Eric Swalwell 11%, and hedge fund founder Tom Steyer at 10%. Hilton and Bianco are Republicans. The other 3 are Democrats. The poll was conducted by the Public Policy Institute of California.
The Justice Department has released millions of pages in connection with the Jeffrey Epstein files. However, records involving sexual assault accusations made by a woman against President Trump were not among them, according to several news organizations. allegations. The missing papers are FBI memos that summarize interviews the FBI did in connection to the claims the woman made when she came forward in 2019, just days after Epstein's arrest. The woman told authorities she was assaulted by both Epstein and Trump in the 1980s when she was about 13 years old. When contacted by the New York Times, the Justice Department told the Times it is unclear why the memos are missing. A White House spokesperson said Tuesday that Mr. Trump has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing in connection with Epstein.
Developing this morning, Hillary Clinton says she doesn't recall ever meeting convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. That's what she told lawmakers under oath this morning. The former Secretary of State testified behind closed doors in front of the Republican-led House Oversight Committee. She also said that she has no information about Epstein's crimes or those of Ghislaine Maxwell's, which was Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend. Former President Bill Clinton also scheduled to testify, marking the first time a former president has been compelled to appear before Congress.
The prosecution of Kilmar Abrego Garcia faces a crucial test in a federal court in Tennessee today. Abrego Garcia is asking the judge to dismiss criminal case against him, saying the Justice Department brought charges in retaliation for his successful challenge to his illegal deportation to El Salvador. The case involves a 2022 traffic stop in Tennessee. Body camera footage shows 9 passengers in the car with Garcia. Officers discussed suspicions of human smuggling.
I'll take over, Sandra. But he was let go with a warning, and last year Garcia was wrongfully deported to El Salvador, and President Trump's administration was then ordered to bring him back to the United States. He was charged in Tennessee in the case upon his return. Meanwhile, while that's playing out, the federal judge has ruled that the Trump administration cannot deport immigrants to countries they are not from. That judge found deporting people to third-party countries was unconstitutional and put them in danger. The Trump administration expected to appeal, which could send the case to the U.S. Supreme Court.
All right, a blind man is found dead after being released by Border Patrol custody in Buffalo, from Border Patrol custody in Buffalo, New York. He was left to find his own way home, which was 5 miles away. Nurul Amin Shah Alam was a refugee from Burma and father of 2. Agents say they gave Alam a courtesy ride to a fast food restaurant February 19th. His family reported him missing on the 22nd. The Buffalo Police Department is investigating now. The coroner there said his cause of death was, quote, health-related, and exposure and homicide have been ruled out.
A new round of talks begins today for the United States and Iran, and Douglas Zader reports that the U.S. military buildup in the region continues to grow as President Trump says he hopes to find a diplomatic solution.
Well, this is the third round of talks for the U.S. and Iran with not much movement so far, and both Iran and the U.S. say they are prepared for military action. Iran's foreign minister meets with Omani officials ahead of today's talks in Geneva. In an earlier interview, he made the stakes clear if these talks don't succeed and the U.S. takes action.
There would be no victory for anybody. It would be a devastating war.
They're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America.
And President Trump laid out part of his case against Iran in the State of the Union address, and overnight, the Secretary of State Marco Rubio talked about the economic pressures on the regime.
For a country that's facing sanctions, whose economy is in tatters, whose people are suffering, and somehow they still find the money to invest in missiles of greater and greater capacity every year.
Tehran is still bustling, but the souring economy there is taking a toll. Prices have been soaring. Everybody is under pressure, this man says, but even with a growing fleet of U.S. warships nearby, Iran is vowing to keep pressing forward with its nuclear program.
We are not ready to give up our right for peaceful use of nuclear technology.
And while Iran is willing to discuss its nuclear ambitions, it has refused to talk about its missile program or its support for proxy groups, and that could lead to an impasse in these talks. In Washington, Doug Zader, Fox News.
France moves a step closer to passing a right-to-die law for people diagnosed with an incurable illness. The National Assembly passed the bill that would allow adults to take lethal medication if they are facing an incurable or terminal illness. Medical staff can refuse to participate, and psychological suffering alone or neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's are excluded. Advocates of the bill say people should be able to decide themselves whether they want to die, or for some living with endless agony is a fate worse than death. Opponents say the legislation gives doctors too much power. The Assembly passed the bill 299 to 226 and now heads to the Senate, where a final vote could take months.
10:14 coming up. We remember a rock star of the running world whose pioneering method millions of runners now use every single day.
And Coco is live in San Juan Capistrano, living with living the horse girl life, I should say. This morning, the horses are beautiful out there.
Good morning. The horses are definitely beautiful out here. The staff is wonderful as well. We're talking about the Shea Center here in San Juan Capistrano. Coming up, we're going to tell you about one of their fundraisers and how you can be part of this. And you'll meet Mac and Cheese.
Yeah, and coming up, a traffic report. But first, Good Day LA Traffic is sponsored by My Home Sold. As we take a look at one of our live traffic cameras here, we always keep an eye out on the 10 freeway. This is the East 10 at Grand Avenue. Both sides of the 10 actually moving pretty well at this hour, so that's the good news. The drive times have improved a little bit, so less than a half an hour now on that West 10 between the 5 to the 405 out of downtown to Santa Monica. Under a half an hour, like I said. Northbound 110 between the 405 to the 10, 23 minutes. And on that West 60 between the 57 to the 5, there's 29 minutes as well. Here's a look at some of the other traffic hotspots.
Hello, I'm Adrian Hernandez with MyHomeSold.com, and we want to buy your house cash. We'll give you a cash offer for your house today. Sell your house the easy way with no commissions, no fees, no repairs. For free, no obligation cash offer. Go to MyHomeSold.com.
Welcome back. Happening today, the woman at the center of a landmark social media trial underway in downtown LA will resume her testimony. The 20-year-old is only going by the name KGM. She's suing Meta and Google for allegedly being harmful to her mental health growing up. Her attorney says she's been on social media since she was 6 years old, making YouTube videos and posting content. KGM says she was online nonstop, and apps like Instagram exposed her to harmful and depressing content that led to self-harm and sextortion.
I see myself in KGM. I see my friends in KGM. I see my younger sister in KGM. And we are all united in this pursuit of justice against this generation's big predatory industry.
YouTube's lawyer says KGM failed to use platform features designed to protect users from bullying, including tools to delete comments and limit time spent watching videos.
The running community mourning a mentor who touched the lives of millions of athletes. We're talking about Olympic runner Jeff Galloway. He passed away in Pensacola, Florida last night following a stroke. He was 80 years old. In 1972, Galloway was part of the US Olympic team that competed in the 10,000-meter race. Galloway went on to pioneer the run-walk method that's used by millions of people each day. He was also a decorated author and the official Disney race coach who helped create the massive community for runners who take part in the race series held at Disney parks.
What a legend. All right, Palisades Charter High School has something to celebrate a little more than a year after the wildfire destroyed their high school campus. Baseball team members cut a ceremonial ribbon yesterday to mark their new home. Pali High will practice and play at this home away from home at the Cheviot Hills Recreation Center for the next several seasons, while their facilities are being rebuilt in the Palisades. The team spent the past year moving from baseball field to baseball field while trying to maintain their competitive advantage.
It's been insane. There's been a lot of changes, rapid changes, but I feel like as an organization, Pali's done really well, getting back up on their feet.
We've all been through a lot of adversity, changing fields, seems like every month almost. And it's really nice to have our own place that we can kind of call ours now.
Confidence, familiarity, and just the assuredness of knowing that we have a place to play and store our equipment and, you know, just have a home crowd.
The team is hoping to regain the Western League title this season.
For close to 50 years, the Shea Center has helped people with disabilities in a really unique way.
This is so cool. They use therapeutic horse-related programs to help people, and Coco McAvoy is live in San Juan Capistrano to show us. Hi there, Coco.
Good morning. That's right. We are here at the Shea Center. We've been spending our morning here. I've learned a lot. The staff is fantastic, and they have amazing horses as well. I am here with Sonia now. And Sonia, tell us about the fundraiser you have going on right now.
Well, this is exciting. Our fundraiser right now is our grassroots fundraiser called Drive to Ride. And it's really great because it involves all of our community, our clients, staff, volunteers. And the idea is to share your story on our website because it's an online fundraiser. And as you can see, all the stories that are on the website are out here to read. Wow. There's over 100 of them, and we're in our last leg of our fundraiser. So we have about 60,000 left to raise of 350,000, and it supports client financial aid and horses like Mac and Cheese.
Yes, because tell us about Mac and Cheese. We love Mac and Cheese.
Well, he has the best name in the barn, but he's our 28 now. He's a miniature horse, so he is a horse, but he's a mini horse, and he's great for clients that are a little fearful of our bigger horses. So they come and meet Mac, and they build confidence and walk him and get really comfortable, and they're not afraid of horses anymore because look at how cute he is.
Right.
And so he's very valuable, but we don't ride Mac and Cheese. He just has a fun name, and he builds confidence in our younger clients.
And Sonia, so much incredible work happens here, and fundraising is a big part of it.
Yes. Well, fundraising is basically how we make all our money here. We rely on it. 74 cents of every dollar goes back into our services and our programs. And only clients' fees cover about 15% of our entire $8.2 million budget. Wow. So we rely on our community, our generous donors to help us here to thrive, and they believe and invest in our mission, which is to improve the lives of our people with disabilities through horse-related programs. It's an amazing place to be.
It truly is amazing, and you were telling me too that people can come out for tours and such, right?
Oh, please, yes. We love to share the Shea Center with everybody. please go to our website, sheacenter.org. You can look up Drive to Ride and see all the stories that are going on right now, but please set up a tour. I'd be happy to take you on a personal tour. Come see our clients, meet our horses, and just have the best day you've ever had in your entire life.
Love that. Sonia, thank you so much for talking to us.
You are so welcome.
Thank you to Mac and Cheese as well, the perfect model to represent this Shea Center, of course. And I just love that name, Mac and Cheese. So it is the best. Like Sonia was saying, come out here and support the Shea Center. Head to sheacenter.org for more information. I'll send it back to you.
Thank you so much, Coco.
Mac and Cheese is so cute.
I love the name.
I know.
So cute.
So cute.
Very fun.
I love mac and cheese.
Yep.
All kinds of mac and cheese. Thank you,
cute.
Coco.
Thank you. All right, coming up, Spotify releases a new list of the best songs from the streaming era. See if you agree.
And Brooke is live with the SoCal debut of a big art show.
Hey there, yes, Butter Fine Art Show. This is going to be fun. It's going to be loud. It's going to be vibrant. You're going to want to buy something. It's going to be beautiful. The word we were using earlier is astonishing. I'll tell you all about this LA expansion first after the break.
And welcome back to you. I'm meteorologist Maria Quaban. We've got just some high clouds outside. You can kind of see it here on our visibility map. These are not rain-producing clouds. They'll filter out the sunshine a little bit. It'll actually give us some beautiful colors for sunset a little later this afternoon. But generally, this ridge of high pressure is in control of our weather, producing those warm temperatures. Talking about 70s, 80s, even low 90s today in the desert communities. Tomorrow, even hotter, possibly record-breaking high temperatures tomorrow. We'll wait and see. But yes, more of the same. And as we take a look at the storms as well, that storm track is going to stay to the north. So no organized storm system, so no rain expected through next week. There might be a small chance for some late spotty sprinkles next week, Thursday, but it's really light, and the models are, well, they're hedging on it. So I will keep you posted, and I'll let you know better as we get into early next week. But generally, we're going to end the month kind of like how we started the month, with some red boxes here, very warm temperatures. As we take a look at how much rain we got quite a bit, actually, for the month of February, over 4 inches, 4 1/4 to be exact. So our surplus actually close to 8 inches above normal. And above normal is what we're expecting again today, 81. Normal temperature, 68, so we're running way above that. Our sunset time at 5:47 this afternoon. Look at Pico Rivera. Oh my gosh, going into the low 90s as we get into tomorrow. We'll cool it down a little bit beginning Sunday into next week, but those are still above normal high temperatures. I'll show you a little bit more when I come back. Back to you.
The San Bernardino Police Department is releasing the picture of a murder suspect and is asking for the public's help in finding him. The suspect's name is Elvia Johnson. On February, she was first involved in what police describe as a physical altercation in the 1600 block of West Concord Street. They say after the fight, she jumped in a car and shot someone before leaving the scene. The victim was taken to the hospital where she died of her injuries. Johnson is considered armed and dangerous, so if you know anything, please contact the San Bernardino Police Department.
This is a crazy story out of Santa Clarita. A man gets into a standoff with police after his roommates say he tried to poison them. They say this isn't the first time that he's done this. Take a look at the video. The tenants say they've caught the roommate there on camera spraying their groceries with some kind of a liquid. Deputies got called to the house on Cedar Ridge Court Monday afternoon after the tenants say that he had returned home. And that is what sparked a standoff that lasted for several hours and eventually ended with the suspect in custody.
It took us a long time to find the video, but when we found it twice, where he was spraying stuff all over our groceries, like our fruit, our vegetables, our coffee pot that we use every morning, and our whole pantry full of all of our chips and our cereal, all of our canned goods, our spices, everything.
Like touch like our face, whatever, you know, something itches, and it would burn and it would itch really bad. Like if you're like allergic to something, you know, it's horrible. So
and neither one of us
when we kind of exactly. So when we put the pieces together, we figured out that Tim.
Deputies say the suspect was later released to family members and issued a citation to appear in court. The tenants say they've suffered serious health problems that have landed them in the hospital a number of times. Authorities say that they've been called out to the home about food poisoning twice before.
Mexican authorities say some areas are returning to normal after the violence that followed the death of a powerful cartel leader there. But overall, they say things are far from calm.
Yeah, we're also hearing from Americans who are back in the U.S. after sheltering in place for 3 days. Steve Harrigan reports from Puerto Vallarta.
Busy Costco shoppers walked through a parking lot where cars burned Sunday, hoping the spasms of violence that brought the Mexican state to a standstill are over after the killing of the world's top drug trafficker, El Mencho.
La verdad, tristeza. The truth is, it's sad because Puerto Vallarta is a very quiet port where you can walk the streets day and night with all the tranquility in the world. And this leaves us a bit restless to do our day-to-day.
The cartels like to target bigger vehicles, buses and trucks. They set them on fire, and they're able to block many lanes at the same time. It causes chaos, but also slows the response of law enforcement. The country's president says all is well as roads, schools, and airports reopen.
Little by little, things are returning to normal.
But local residents aren't so sure. They worry about the impact on tourism, which brings in more than $30 billion a year and accounts for about 8% of the country's GDP. Much of that comes from Americans who cut their trips short after witnessing the violence.
As the helicopter was going by, we could see 3 men sitting on the side with guns and their feet hanging over the edge of the helicopter.
There's also concern about the World Cup. Mexico is scheduled to host 13 World Cup matches this summer, with some games in Guadalajara, which has been in a state of emergency since Sunday.
Tenemos confianza total.
We have total confidence in Mexico and its president, and we are convinced that everything will turn out in the best possible way.
That's more confidence than even some Mexicans have. When we asked people here, is the violence over? Many responded, it will never be over. In Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, Steve Harrigan, Fox News.
Body cam video from the San Francisco Bay Area capturing a rescue from a burning home. Flames were closing in. Look at this, but quick thinking helped save a family and their dog. Last Saturday, officers found several people stuck on a second-floor patio. As that smoke filled the building, they safely caught the toddler. Moments later, the family tossed their dog, also caught by officers below. Firefighters then arrived and helped the remaining people safely escape the burning home. That is pretty amazing, and my gosh, heart-stopping too.
Right, right. All right, art lovers of all ages can experience something new in Inglewood this week.
Yeah, Brooke is live at Butter LA, highlighting work by Black artists. Hi, Brooke.
Hey there, yes. So this is the LA expansion of Butter Fine Arts Fair. Listen, this, you can kind of see they're getting ready tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. We want you to come on out and experience this. And I actually get to spend some time this morning with one of the artists. You're a sculpturist? Is that a word? Did I make that up?
Sculptor, but
a sculptor. Wait, there's a word I already knew. Why did I say that?
I refer to myself as a multidisciplinary artist.
Okay.
My name's Natufal.
Yes.
It's nice to have you all here. I mean,
it's nice to be here with you.
Butter is an incredible fair. Born in Indianapolis, this is its first time kind of expanding out of Indianapolis, and you know, the fair's model is something that's so incredible because it is non-censored, and artists get all of the profits from art sales, so there's no commissions that are being taken from the organization, and you know, the work is from Black artists all over the country. From Indianapolis, there's some LA-based artists, there's also international artists, really just showcasing Black art and work from artists that are part of the diaspora. Like myself, I'm Senegalese American. There are a couple other artists that, you know, are also African, and it's you know, really great to just have a space and work with people that not only care for the art but care for the artists as well.
That's what this is all about, caring for the artists. Can you talk to me about your work here, because you have two really cool pieces in here, and I would like to know a little bit more about them since we have you here.
Of course. So I mean, with my practice, I'm constantly looking at my heritage and language, as well as sort of mythology and storytelling. This piece is one in a series where I've developed this code. I'm a queer artist in Senegal. Homosexuality and sort of queerness is very much oppressed and very much still illegal. And so with this work, I'm using this code that I call the Mudfabet, or the Mud Code, to, you know, express the kind of like coded language that we all use to survive and live in a society where we aren't necessarily accepted. And so this piece actually shows the entire character set. I have other pieces where I've actually started to write in them, sort of write like proverbs and things like that in different languages. So, you know, in Senegal we speak French, we speak Wolof, growing up here I speak English, and so growing up in a household where all three languages are kind of thrown around is really interesting to me. And like, you know, in my practice, I'm always kind of playing around with this idea of translation, you know, between the languages and how you can start, how that actually changes how you express yourself.
I love that. Okay, let's not give it all away.
Sure,
okay,
yeah.
We want people to come. We want you to experience this. It's going to be an experience, okay, to say the least. Come check out Butter. They've been around for about 5 years. World known. They are in LA now. It is our time right here in Inglewood and Hollywood Park. I'll send things back to you in the studio.
A great central location for everyone too to get to.
It's a perfect spot.
Also, why did I try to make up a word earlier? I don't know. Like,
it's Thursday, you know.
That's what it's like.
That's what happens.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love her jacket. Good fashion taste.
Oh, they like your jacket.
Yeah.
The whole outfit
yes,
is a vibe.
it's a look. I love
Nice.
it. All right, Brooke.
Creative with her hands and her everything, right?
And her fashion.
Thank you. All right, so Good Day LA, sponsored by Yamavar Resort and Casino. Amanda off today. We have entertainment stories for you, though.
Yeah, that's right. Spotify has compiled its list of greatest pop songs of the streaming era. So any guesses as to what topped the list?
I got my driver's license last week, just like we always talked about.
All right, if you guessed Olivia Rodrigo's driver's license, you know your streaming stuff. So what else made the cut? We'll tell you. Chaperone, Pink Pony Club, Taylor Swift, Cruel Summer, Dua Lipa, Don't Start Now, and Carly Rae Jepsen, Run Away With Me.
Those are all good.
Yeah, Justin Bieber's Sorry made the list at 6, Lorde, Green Light, Drake, One Dance, Billie Eilish, of course, Birds of a Feather, Ariana Grande, No Tears Left to Cry was
I like them all.
at 10.
Like them all.
Good ones.
Yeah. So Minecraft movie had been the biggest moneymaker of the year, but another movie just took the title by a hair. H-A-R-E.
No snake has set foot in Zootopia in forever.
There's a snake!
So hair as in H-A-R-E. I don't know if you heard me, but there you have it. Obviously, you know what I'm talking about. Zootopia 2 officially pulled ahead of a Minecraft movie at the box office after spending 13 weeks in the top 10. It's been there since Thanksgiving. What's more impressive, though, Zootopia 2 has been available to stream since the end of January.
I finally saw it.
Did you like it?
Saw it, right?
Yeah, in the theater. My kids loved it.
We streamed it. It's so good. We saw it twice.
You saw it twice at home?
Yeah,
Oh,
twice
nice.
at home. Yeah.
Well,
It was
because
so
you
good.
have like what, a 2-day rental or something?
Yeah. And I needed the second day to make sure I caught everything.
Just play that over and over, get your money's worth.
That's right.
It was good.
All right, last hour we asked you, how many streaming services do you pay for? So here are the results. Oh my goodness, 5 to 10. The majority of people, and almost more than 10 for 31% of you. So wow.
Nice.
Yep.
Very good.
Lots of streaming.
Coming up, Ford announces a massive recall impacting 2 of its most popular models, the Explorer and F-150 trucks. Those details ahead.
And from backseat driving to taking off your shoes, we're talking about the most annoying habits passengers inflict on drivers.
right, so a tame report on the job market. New claims for unemployment benefits were up by just 4,000 last week, slightly less than forecast. Experts say that number is in line with a healthy job market since it points to no alarming signs of layoffs, continuing claims, and those remaining on benefits declined to $1.83 million for last week.
However, layoffs are hitting e-commerce site eBay. The company says it's letting go of about 800 workers, which is about 6% of its workforce. A spokesperson says the cuts are spread across the company. The layoffs come as the company announced it is buying Etsy's resale app, Depop, and it will make heavy investments in AI.
Ford announcing some major recalls, so it impacts 4.3 million pickup trucks and SUVs. A software error may cause brakes not to function and exterior lights to fail. Take a good look at this list right here. So it's quite a list. You've got F-150 trucks from the year 2021 to 2026, F-250 SD trucks from 2022 to 2026, the Lincoln Navigator, Expedition, Maverick as well. Also, some Rangers and E-Transit vehicles are on that list. Check with Ford to see if your vehicle may have the issue, and the company will update your software.
All right, it's safe to assume most Americans are making their way through this tax season, but even though there's some time left until the April 15th deadline, now is a good time to start. Tax experts say the prospects of getting back higher returns could be a motivator to help you get started with the filing, but a larger return might require more paperwork.
A lot of folks are going to expect